am innocent. I did not do any of the things that have been alleged against me.
Real housewife Jen Shah is in for a whole new reality. After spending more than a year proclaiming her innocence on TV for the world to see, today that all changed.
The Real Housewives of Salt Lake City cast member accepted a plea deal with federal prosecutors.
The reality TV star leaving a New York courthouse this morning, captured by the DailyMail.com, hiding her face under a mask and sunglasses after suddenly pleading guilty to federal fraud charges and agreeing to pay back up to $15 million and faces up to 14 years in prison.
The judge asked her, "Are you here today to plead guilty?" And she said yes.
To hear today that she's completely flipped the script and is now pled guilty is the shocker of all shockers.
At the beginning of 2021, Jen Shah's star appeared to be on the rise as a breakout star of Bravo's newest addition to the Real Housewives franchise, Salt Lake City.
I want it to be Shah-mazing. I want it to be shabulous.
The married mother of two was known for her flashy style and flaunting her life of luxury.
The first season, I spent every single episode trying to figure out where Jen Shah's wealth came from, and I came up with absolutely nothing. For the second season, I learned that I was not alone in trying to figure that out. All of her friends, all of her associates on that show also had no idea where that extravagant wealth came from.
That question came into sharp focus in March.
Do you have to go?
Yeah. When a bombshell dropped right in the middle of filming for season 2 of the show.
There's police and they have handcuffs out.
Homeland Security.
Shah was arrested off camera and charged with conspiracy to commit wire fraud and money laundering, all linked to a nationwide telemarketing scheme that targeted hundreds of people across the country, many of them over age 55. The charges set off a massive media blitz. Shah is not the first housewife to face a hard time after being indicted on federal charges. Teresa Giudice from the New Jersey franchise famously served 11 months in prison. Shah did become the subject of a Hulu documentary from ABC News Studios, The Housewife and the Shah Shocker, which included interviews with investigators.
In any of our operations, we don't look for specific timing to do arrests. In the case of Jen Shah, she had a television crew that was following her on a regular basis, right? So it was not planned in any way.
What are you guys doing in there? There's a search warrant.
Our investigators, our special agents needed to do our jobs. And I'm happy to say they did it without incident, and she was taken into custody.
The charges stemmed from an investigation that had been ongoing for years. Investigators in New York say they had uncovered a huge telemarketing scheme. By 2021, it linked all the way to Jen Shah in Utah.
And Jen Shah was charged with helping to orchestrate this scheme where ordinary people, vulnerable people, often elderly people, would be tricked into giving up their life savings for products that telemarketers were telling them had value, but which Jen Shah now admitted really had none.
Initially, Shah pleaded not guilty.
The case against her was strong, prosecutors said. They had bank statements and they had cooperating witnesses, including Jen Shah's own personal assistant, Stuart Smith.
The only thing I'm guilty of is being Shah-mazing.
Despite the charges, Shah continued filming for the show even as she prepared her legal defense.
So we're really just at the very beginning of the case. You've been charged with wire fraud and then money laundering. You pled not guilty to both charges.
Right.
And we, in fact, set it for trial.
Mm-hmm.
On the show, she would often proclaim her innocence of the charges against her to her castmates and her family.
I'm telling you, I knew nothing of this. I didn't do anything.
What I have been accused of is absolutely the complete opposite of anything I would ever do in my life.
Those proclamations continued after the show finished filming. At the reunion, Shah again defended herself against the idea of a plea deal.
The success rate of the New York State attorney is like 95%. Does that?
Because people take plea deals. I'm fighting this. I am innocent.
She's fighting it.
And I will fight for every person out there that can't fight for themselves because they don't have the resources or the means, so they don't fight.
And even as recently as last month, during an exclusive interview with Up and Adam on YouTube.
To me, this is the only option for me, is to fight, is to show everybody out there that we're so quick to jump on the bandwagon and make assumptions.
With her trial set to begin in a week, this morning's guilty plea on one count of conspiracy to commit wire fraud, a shocking twist.
Excuse me, guys. Pardon me.
The reality TV star seen leaving the courtroom in these photos from DailyMail.com looking somber in sunglasses.
What seems to have happened, she trusted her legal team, and they probably said the best case scenario is for you to plead guilty, because we don't see this going to trial and you coming out of this the way that perhaps you thought you were going to come out of this.
In court today, Shah read from a prepared statement saying, in 2012 to March 2021 in the Southern District of New York and elsewhere, I agreed with others to commit wire fraud. I knew this was wrong. I knew many people were harmed, and I'm so sorry.
Any of the bombast that you see from Jen Shah on reality television, none of that was evident in court, where she seemed more contrite.
Shah's attorney put out a statement about today's plea deal reading, Ms. Shah is a good woman who crossed a line. She accepts full responsibility for her actions and deeply apologizes to all who have been harmed. Jen pled guilty because she wants to pay her debt to society and put this ordeal behind her and her family. A source close to the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City production confirms the show is currently filming season 3 and Jen Shah will be a full-time cast member. Bravo did not comment on today's developments.
I think that season 3 of Salt Lake City Housewives is probably going to end up being one of their most watched seasons, one of their most watched franchises of all time, because everyone wants to know what led up to her changing that plea deal.
Only Jen Shah knows for sure why she's had this change of heart, why she maintained her innocence for so long, only to plead guilty at the dawn of her trial. But her lawyer says that she has come to take responsibility. We'll see if that changes come November when she's formally sentenced.
Hi everyone, George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel, and don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.